Hey guys and gals, so one of the things that I want to talk to you about is this regulation E, right? And what it is, why it matters for you, what's covered by it, just some of the things, the basics that you kind of need to know to get a better understanding of its importance. So let's start off, with some basics, right? Regulation E is basically, it protects you if an unauthorized or incorrect transaction is made to or from your account. If you've ever had your debit card stolen or had an unauthorized transfer made from your bank account, you might be familiar with some of the things going on with Regulation E, right? Regulation E is just a framework created by the Federal Reserve, and what it does is it's going to outline, the responsibilities and liabilities of businesses and people who take part in, electronic fund transfers, right? Now, Regulation E is the way that the Fed implements the Electronic Fund Transfer Act. Now, this isn't anything new, right? I mean, it's been around since 1978. But what they do is in order to reflect new technology payments and all that stuff and keep up, they have to constantly update it. So over time, it's constantly updated. Maybe sometimes in like 2 years, 5 years, whatever the time interval may be, every 6 months. It's whenever they feel they need to update it to reflect, new electronic payment technologies and everything going on. Now, Regulation E protects individuals who make these, electronic transfers, so they aren't liable for unauthorized or incorrect transactions to and from, your bank account, right? And as long as you let your bank know about the situation as soon as possible, it might be a pain. Right? I'm not saying it's not going to be a pain, but it's not going to be a big of a deal. You should be able to get most, if not all, of your money back. So, what are these electronic, fund transfers? Like what's included in this? Well, the Federal Reserve defines an electronic fund transfer as a transaction that a person initiates via an electronic terminal, a telephone, your computer, or debit card, right, that either credits or debits a consumer's bank account. Now, these electronic fund transfers can include services such as ATM transfers. If you're paying a bill on the phone, a point of sale debit card transaction with retailers. Think when you go to Walmart or Target or any of these stores, and when you swipe that card, that's a point of sale, right? And then pre-authorized transfers to or from a consumer's bank account, right? I mean, they're so, you go online and you buy something on Amazon, boom, use these, Shopify stores. If you buy something from one of these Shopify stores, boom, that's another one. So this is really here to protect you from, essentially online it's to help protect from scams and stuff like that. And then, of course, it's to protect from people who get your information somehow and, get into your bank account without you knowing. Now, why does this matter for you, right? For the consumer? Well, it's going to limit your liability to about $50, right? And so it's going to limit your liability to $50 in the instance that, you experience theft or loss from an unauthorized electronic transfer. However, people who have experienced an unauthorized transfer need to notify your, that bank, or your credit union or whatever depository institution that you're currently using, if it's an online bank, or whatever it's going to be, and you need to make sure to do it in decent time. Don't wait months. Like, do it as quickly as you can, right? Usually, I would say if you notice it, the sooner you notice it, the sooner you can say something, the better. But as long as it's within about 60 days or so, depending on the financial institution, that's not, like, you should be able to get handled, right? Otherwise, they might be liable for $500 or an unlimited amount. So if you don't tell them about it quick enough, instead of being liable for $50, you might be liable for $500. So that's really why, as soon as you notice it, you want to go, okay, this is what's going on. This is what happened. See if there's any other ones in there. Mark them down, see how much they are, and go to your institution, whether you have to go to a physical bank, your online bank, or whatever it's going to be, your credit union. They say all these charges, not me. I don't know how far back it goes. These are the ones that I noticed, and you need to do it as quickly as you can, so that way, you're only liable for up to $50. I would hate for someone to spend, $2,000 and then you only get back $1,500 because you're liable for $500, or you might be liable for all of it if you wait too long. Whereas you might only be liable for $50, and then they have to pay you the other $1,950. So, what is not covered by Regulation E? Because not everything is. So, Regulation E covers transactions that affect funds in consumer bank accounts, right? So, basically, it doesn't cover credit card transactions, checks, or wire transfers. So, if you use your credit card online and, someone gets your credit card number and they're spending money on your credit card account, regulation doesn't help that, right? This is pretty much only for bank accounts, right? And then, wire transfers, we're really not, I don't think too many, the average person's probably not doing wire transfers too often, so we don't have to worry about that. And I feel like in this day and age, most people aren't writing checks too often. I mean, I'm sure there's still a good amount of people writing checks, but I don't think it's a terribly large amount. Now, if you have an issue with an unauthorized or, mistaken use of your credit card, now you're going to go to your credit card issuer, and again, you want to do the same thing, right? You want to, before you go to them, pull up your credit card history, try to find transactions. Maybe they've done it more than once, right? And, write them down, the day, what the transaction was for, and the amount. That way, when you go to them, they can look for the amount, and they can see the day. You get that taken care of, right? But again, Regulation E is for transactions that affect funds in consumer bank accounts, not credit card transactions, not checks, and not wire transfers. So hopefully you guys got some good information out of this, and you kind of see that, while the Fed isn't most people's best friend, it's not like they're against you either, right? They're putting things in place to help you as well. Hopefully, you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I know I'd appreciate it if you did. But until I see y'all in the next video, y'all be safe.